Welcome to Tinseltown Twists and True Crime Shockers, where the glitz and glamour of Hollywood meet the chilling intrigue of true crime. I'm your host, and on this channel, we're going to take you on an exhilarating journey through the heart of Tinseltown like you've never seen before. In the world of entertainment, celebrities shine bright, their lives often splashed across headlines and screens. But what happens when the spotlight fades, and the darker side of fame comes to light? That's where our journey begins. We'll uncover the secrets, scandals, and mysteries that have gripped the world of the rich and famous, shedding light on the true stories that have shaken Hollywood to its core. Today, we visit one of the most gruesome and hideous crimes involving Charles Milles Manson. Charles Manson was born on November 12, 1934, in Cincinnati, Ohio, to a teenage mother, Kathleen Maddox. He never knew his biological father and was given the last name Manson after his mother married William Manson. Manson's early life was marked by poverty and a lack of stability. Manson's life of crime began at a young age. He spent much of his youth in and out of correctional facilities, having committed various petty crimes such as theft, burglary, and car theft. He was in and out of prisons for much of his early adulthood. In the late 1960s, Charles Manson began attracting a group of followers who came to be known as the Manson family. These mostly young women were drawn to Manson's charismatic personality and his promise of a utopian commune lifestyle. Manson's ability to manipulate and control his followers was central to his cult's formation. Manson developed a bizarre and apocalyptic ideology he called helter-skelter, which he believed was a coming race war between blacks and whites. Manson believed that the murders his cult committed would trigger this war, and he and his followers would emerge as the leaders of a new society afterward. On the night of August 8, 1969, Manson ordered a group of his followers to carry out a series of murders. The victims included actress Sharon Tate, who was 8 months pregnant, and several of her friends who were visiting her Los Angeles home. The victims were brutally stabbed, shot, and left in a horrifying crime scene. The following night, the Manson family murdered Leno and Rosemary LaBianca in their home, using similar methods of extreme violence. The term helter-skelter was derived from the Beatles song of the same name, and Manson believed that the lyrics contained hidden messages about the impending race war. He convinced his followers that they needed to commit these gruesome murders to incite the race war and emerge as leaders afterward. The investigation into the murders was complex and initially baffling to law enforcement. It was only after one of Manson's followers, Susan Atkins, was arrested for unrelated crimes and began to boast about the murders that the police started connecting the dots. The subsequent trial of Charles Manson and several of his followers, including Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Charles Tex Watson, was highly publicized and became a media circus. Manson's bizarre and erratic behavior during the trial, including carving an X into his forehead, added to the sensationalism. The impact of the Manson murders on Hollywood and society was profound. It shattered the illusion of safety and innocence in the entertainment industry, and it highlighted the dark underbelly of fame and celebrity. The Manson case remains one of the most infamous and haunting chapters in Hollywood's history. Loss of innocence. The Manson family murders symbolized a loss of innocence for Hollywood and the broader culture. The brutal killings, especially the murder of pregnant actress Sharon Tate and her friends, struck at the heart of the entertainment industry. The fact that these heinous crimes occurred in the homes of Hollywood figures added to the sense of vulnerability and fear. Fear and paranoia. The murders instilled a sense of fear and paranoia in Hollywood. Many in the industry were concerned about their safety, and security measures were heightened. The era of free-spirited, open-door parties came to an end as people became more cautious about whom they allowed into their homes. Changes in celebrity security. The Manson murders prompted celebrities to reevaluate their personal security. High-profile individuals began to employ private security teams and take other measures to protect themselves and their families. Impact on filmmaking. The Manson family murders also influenced the content of films. The 1970s saw a shift towards darker and more violent themes in cinema, reflecting the general sense of unease and cynicism that pervaded society. Cultural and artistic impact. The Manson case had a lasting impact on popular culture and art. It inspired numerous books, films, documentaries, and songs exploring the events and the cult leader's twisted ideology. Quentin Tarantino's 2019 film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, is one example of a work that uses the Manson family murders as a backdrop to explore the era. Media sensationalism. The Manson case marked a turning point in the way the media covered crime stories. It was one of the first cases to receive extensive sensationalized media coverage. The trial was broadcast on television, and the coverage contributed to the growing trend of turning criminal cases into high-profile spectacles. Impact on the music industry. Charles Manson had connections to the music industry, having briefly interacted with musicians such as Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys. The murders, along with Manson's involvement in the counterculture, led to a degree of stigma associated with certain types of music and lifestyle choices. Cultural shifts. The Manson case occurred at the end of the 1960s, a decade marked by significant cultural and social changes. The murders seemed to symbolize the dark side of the counterculture and the hippie movement, contributing to a shift in societal attitudes. At least one of Charles Manson's followers who were involved in the Manson family murders had been released from prison over the years. These releases occurred due to parole decisions, sentence reductions, or completion of their sentences. Some of the most well-known Manson family members who have been released include Leslie Van Houten. Leslie Van Houten was convicted of her involvement in the murders of Leno and Rosemary LaBianca. She was initially sentenced to death, but her sentence was later commuted to life in prison after the California Supreme Court invalidated the state's death penalty statute. Leslie Van Houten has been recommended for parole several times. She has been granted parole by a California parole board on July 11, 2023. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.